Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to the monthly Town of Milton Board meeting. Today is May the 28th, 2025, time 6:30. I'd like to get the meeting started with the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Kerr.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Delnicki.
Present.
Councilwoman Snowden.
Present.
Councilman Froelich.
Present.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Present.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Present. First on the agenda, motion to accept the minutes of the April 4th, 2025 special meeting.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Delnicki.
Yes.
Councilwoman Snowden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Snowden, or Councilwoman Kerr, sorry. Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, a motion to accept the minutes of the April 9th, 2025 special meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Delnicki.
Yes.
Councilwoman Snowden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, a motion to accept the minutes of the April 23rd, 2025 Town Board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Delnicki.
Yes.
Councilwoman Snowden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, before we get the actual board meeting started, I want to just make a presentation to our budget committee. Dave has worked very hard on, he's together, and we received an award from the Government Finances Officer Association, United States and Canada Award, certification of recognition for budgeting preparation. Dave can better describe this, but I'm going to try to just make it nice and short. So Dave put together our budget, submitted it to a prestigious board. They went over our budget. Nobody in upstate New York, I don't believe in our counties, ever received this. So Dave put together the presentation, submitted it, and we were chosen. And it's the first for upstate New York, first for our county. And I want to personally thank Dave for all the work he did, Jason Miller, John Froelich, Jim Fry, and Mike Iacolucci, along with myself. So I'd like to give our budget committee a couple of presentations here. Maybe we get a quick picture up front. If Dave wants to speak on this, you want to do that? Dave, you want to speak on behalf of it quick or no? Dave doesn't like the spotlight, so everybody knows, so.
What?
A part of this, together. But it's humbling. It's exciting. Yeah, I'm happy to bend over the part of the budget committee.
So Dave had a goal because we went to a budget seminar up at Fort William Henry a few years back, and the gentleman that was running the program approached Dave on our budget and said, "Hey, I saw your budget; it's pretty impressive." And then Dave said to him, "I'm going to put upstate New York back on the map, and we're going to get this award." And Dave, a couple years, he put it together, and I just want to thank you for all the hard work you do, Dave. I appreciate everything you do for our town. So if I could have Dave, Jason Miller, Jim Fry, myself, and John Froelich up front, please.
Just real quick, Scott, you did a phenomenal explanation of this extraordinary award. There is a little bit of a story about it on the website if anybody's curious to dig in a little deeper. So there's some more information there. You taking it? You taking a picture? Go nuts. Photo op. Hey, Jim. Jim, I don't know what you did, but nice work.
Unfortunately, Mike Iacolucci not here this evening, but he is part of our budget committee. He is unable to join us, but we got
Supervisor Ostrander, where's yours?
it's Stephen. Thanks, man.
There's excellent.
Okay, moving on with the agenda. Next on the agenda is public comment number one. Public comment number one is on agenda items only. Public comment number one is now open. Anyone like to speak? Dan?
Hey, Galvin, Quad Lane. Evening, everybody. Just wanted to speak briefly on the last agenda item, which is the renewal of Mr. Olnick's contract with the town. I had FOIA, whatever the hell you call it. The contract itself, read through it, and a lot of it just kind of seems that he has carte blanche to do what he does. My big issue, right, it seems that a fair amount of my other residents of the town wonder, what is that? What does he do? You know, it talks about submitting reports to town supervisor. It talks about, you know, going out and, you know, finding businesses and whatnot, right? Which is fine for the contractor to do, but then in the reports, is he stating who he's talking to? What those, you know, businesses are? One of the bullet points in that contract, it states that he should have a good working relationship with the general public and a good understanding of what the general public wants for the town of Milton. Well, there was a survey done, right? A comprehensive plan survey. He sits on that board. And in that survey, it was, I wouldn't say unanimous, but pretty close to it, in the complete opposite direction of what Mr. Olnick seems to be going after for businesses for the town. So again, you know, who has the oversight over what he is doing? Number one. Number two, you know, it's transparency, right? We've talked about it for the past couple of years, hoping for transparency from the town, from board members, from the planning board and whatnot. And thankfully, that has developed into a very, at least in my opinion, much more transparent about what goes on. You guys are much more willing to give us feedback, answer the phone, what have you, right? Mr. Olnick does not seem to do that. Again, renewal of his contract, month 2. He's not even here. So to me, does that mean he already knows he got the renewal of the contract? And if so, you know, at the end of the day, right? What does Milton want? Well, we've already done a survey. We've said that, right? We've said that we want local, we want small. We do not want these national chains, right? In any way, shape, or form. What is Mr. Olnick doing? Who is he talking to? At the end of the day, it doesn't need to be a secret, because it specifically states in his contract that he does not speak for the town. He cannot make deals and sign contracts for the town. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who he's talking to. He should be able to tell us in his monthly report that he is supposed to give. For $36,000 a year, you would think that he should be present at board meetings, right? Everybody else gives a report. Does he? In the contract, it deems that he can show up whenever he wants. He can basically do whatever he wants with his time. He can work as many hours or what, it's totally on him. I wish I had a job like that, where I could say that I did this for the month and receive 36,000 for the year. My final point would be, what are his qualifications? You know, I work for the state of New York. There's postings for positions, and each position has a minimum qualification. I'm sure there is for the town as well, right? And then people have to apply, show a resume, show qualification, and then sit for an interview. Did Mr. Olnick have to do that? No? Okay, so he was appointed.
He's a subcontractor.
Right. Again, at the end of the day, what are his qualifications for that? We do bids for state highway construction. Those companies that bid have to meet a requirement to be able to do that job before they're even awarded the bid. You know, me personally, I think it would benefit the town to put that position out. See if there are more qualified people that are willing to take that position. We haven't done that yet, right? Wouldn't it benefit the town to at least give the opportunity to see if there are more qualified people willing to help the town in that respect, right? You know, at the end of the day, it's not gonna hurt the town if we wait, say, a month or two to put that out and see if somebody's willing. There's plenty of business here and there's plenty of business coming. And all those developers and all those businesses aren't gonna mind waiting another month to put their foot down here, right? So just an opinion. And again, if you do pro bono work, I have a budget at home that I
Yeah.
greatly appreciate. Thank you again. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dan. Anyone else? Or anybody via Zoom? Hearing none, public comment number 1 is now closed. Moving on with the agenda. Next on the agenda is Resolution 38 of 2025. Resolution to approve the modification of Phase 2 contracts for the Rowland Street Highway Facility per recommendation of Delaware Engineering D.P.C. and the Facilities Committee, whereas Town Board was advised of certain additional construction, electrical, geothermal, technical work and recent was discovered that need to be pursued as part of the site construction for the new Rowland Street Highway Facility, which upon further review is necessary for the town and the project was not anticipated nor converted by the original contract entered in between the town and the contractors, and which recently have been recommended by Delaware Engineering D.P.C., the town engineer and the project architect. Now therefore be it resolved, Town Board, after due consideration upon recommendation from the Town Facilities Committee, Town Engineer, Project Architect, Delaware Engineer D.P.C., and the review by the Town Comptroller authorized and awards the following change orders as set forth in the attached letter caption recommendation to approve contract modification of Delaware Engineering D.P.C. dated May the 28th, 2025. The first modification, number 1, Plank LLC, additional 2,000-gallon water storage tank needed to handle the water discharge loads for the Phase 2 construction and roadside water meter in the pit. This requires a net contract value change increase in the sum of $75,594.06. Number 2, B&D Industries Incorporated, run conduit and pull wires as a result of the installation of the fire alarm system as this modification was applied and drawn down from the contractual allowance. This requires and will yield a net cost value change increase in the sum of $19,744.52. Next, number 3, B&D Industries, once again, relocating electrical room from the first floor office level to the electrical room grinder pump location and fire alarm coordination. This requires a net contract value change increase in the sum of $5,697.22. Next, Terracon Consultants, New York Incorporated, as a result of the recent requirement and the need of a $35,000-gallon fire suppression water tank. The prior report dated July 28th of 2023 needs to be revised in the addendum attached, which will provide the allowable bearing pressure as it relates to the fire suppression water storage tank. This requires a net contractual value change increase in the sum of $1,000, excuse me. And further be resolved that the Town Board directs Town Supervisor to take whatever steps are necessary to execute agreements between the Town of Milton, Plank LLC, B&D Industries Incorporated, Terracom Consultants New York Incorporated for such purposes and or work, and required change order documentation or inspection documents which will be needed and necessary for the processing and completion change orders, and do all that is needed and required to pay all amounts due owed under this agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 38.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Oh, fine. Second,
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes,
Councilwoman Kerr.
yes,
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution 39 of 2025, resolution to hire summer camp director and recreation assistants for the Town of Milton 2025 summer camp program. Whereas in preparation for the 2025 town summer camp, town must seek and hire a camp director and 4 recreational assistants for the Town of Milton for 2025 summer camp program. Now therefore be it resolved, Town Board, after due consideration, hereby appoints and hires Rachael Emmitt of 825 Stone Church Road, Middle Grove, New York, 12850, as the 2025 Summer Camp Director as a seasonal employee at an hourly rate of $24.91 per hour for the Town of Milton 2025 Summer Camp Program with no other benefits provided, and serve as under the direction of the Town Supervisors. Further resolved, Town Board, after due consideration, does authorize the hiring of 6 additional individuals as recreational assistants to the Town of Milton 2025 Summer Program at an hourly rate of $16.73 per hour per the 2025 Town Compensation Schedule with no other benefits provided, to serve as well as under the direction of the Town Supervisor. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 39.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, Resolution 40 of 2025, resolution approve the schedule of budgetary amendments proposed by the Town Comptroller. Whereas the Town Board, Town of Milton, from time to time find it necessary to make budgetary amendments within the budget year based on recommendations from the Town Comptroller. Now therefore be it resolved, Town Board hereby approves the budgetary amendments and transfers as described and set forth in the schedule provided and recommended by the Town Comptroller, which said schedule is attached hereto and made a part thereof, and authorize Town Comptroller to proceed and make the necessary budget amendments as set forth therein. Now therefore be resolved by Town Board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 40.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution 41 of 2025, resolution hire BST and Company CPAs LLP to conduct audits for the years 2025, 2026, 2027 for the Town of Milton, whereas Town of Milton is required to have performed and provide annual audits for the fiscal year end, and now therefore be it resolved, Town Board, after hereby consideration, awards and hires BST Company CPAs LLP of 10 British American Boulevard, Latham, New York, 12110 to perform the audits for the years 2025, 2026, and 2027 at a cost not to exceed the sum of $24,750 plus a sum of $9,000 for federal single audit if required for the year 2025, $25,500 plus the sum of $9,250 for federal single audit requires if needed for the year 2026, $26,000 plus the sum of $9,500 federal single audit if required for the year 2027, all accordance with the attached proposal, and is further resolved, Town Supervisors hereby authorized to enter into and sign all necessary documents and pay all amounts necessary in order to execute the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board of Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 41.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution 42 of 2025, resolution to approve the recommendation for electric and natural gas supply as prepared by Energy Now Consultings LLC, whereas due to the increase in energy and natural gas costs, the pending expiration in November of 2025, the town's current contract for electric supply, and the pending expiration is December of 2025 of the town's current contract for the natural gas supply, and the Town Board plans to award new contracts to the lowest responsible bidders for electricity and natural gas suppliers to the town and its properties. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Town Board that does hereby authorize and agree, consent to, ratify, allowing supervisor and enter into an agreement with Shell Energy for a 24-month term to provide electricity services to Town Hall and town buildings at a rate less than or equal to the maximum estimated rate per kilowatt hour of 0.09349 per the pricing availability May 23rd, 2025, and enter into an agreement with Sprague Energy for a 36-month term to provide natural gas to the town hall and town buildings. Further, Hereby authorize town supervisor to sign and enter into separate agreements for such, execute all and needed necessary documents to pay amounts required therein under the furtherance of the same. Now therefore be resolved by the town board, town of Milton. Motion for resolution 42.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution 43 of 2025, resolution authorizes settlement of pending tax creditor case entitled Milton Senior LP, the assessors for the town of Milton. Whereas petition and notices to review the assessment for taxation of the year 2024, the real estate of Milton Senior is the petitioner in the town of Milton, county of Saratoga, state of New York, regarding property located 300 Northland Road, tax identification number 203.3-1.3, were duly served upon the Board of Assessment Review and Assessors of the town of Milton, which is a respondent, and or about July the 15th of 2024. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, in regular session duly conveyed follows. Number one, the supervisor and or town attorney be and hereby are authorized to enter into stipulation of settlement of said pending proceedings on the terms set forth herein as follows. The parties have agreed to the assessment for the parcel set forth herein shall be set at the following assessment value for 2024, $157,500. The town attorney and or town supervisor and be hereby are authorized to consent to enter into appropriate court orders to accomplish the settlement and to enter into and sign attached stipulation settlement directing the establishment of the assessor for the tax year 2024 is set forth in the stipulation attached here and executed. Any stipulation discontinues the said proceeding. And the supervisor in the town of Milton shall be and hereby is authorized to execute into an attached pilot agreement and to execute any other required and necessary documents to make pay any amounts required by law, if any, on the terms set forth on the said document, all attached hereto with the terms of the said pilot agreement to require payment of taxes by the respondent for the tax years 2025 through 2029 in the amount of $21,600 per year. The town of Milton, acting through the assessor, shall make and cause to be made upon the proper books and records of the assessment roll of the town of Milton and its entities changes and the corrections necessary to confirm the assessments of the agreed to the upon assessments. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 43.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Del Nicky,
Yes.
Count-
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Slight discussion, clarification. Pilot, when I first read this, made it feel something to me like the beginning, like a pilot episode of a show, but it's not. It's an acronym for something in that part of the industry. Procedures, interventions, learnings, outcomes, and trainings. If anybody was curious what that part of the resolution meant. So,
Payment in lieu of
payment.
taxes.
Payment in lieu of tax. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. Payment in lieu of tax. So it means something different than what I would associate with pilot. So I looked it up incorrectly. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
Councilman Del Nicky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution 44 of 2025, resolution to approve the recommendation for a web-based solicitation system as prepared by BidNet Direct. Whereas Town Board, Town of Milton is considering using a web-based solicitation system that would provide an online bidding service and which would enhance the transportation efficiency and reach the town's purchasing practices, as well as provide broader vendor participation and improve compliance with procurement policies. Now therefore be it resolved, Town Board, after due consideration upon recommendation from the Town Comptroller, hereby authorize Town Supervisor to take whatever steps that are necessary in order to obtain and execute an agreement between the town and BidNet Direct for the access to the BidNet Direct network and do all that is needed and required pursuant to the same. Now therefore be resolved by Town Board, Town of Milton, a motion for resolution number 44, please.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes, this is another exciting thing from Dave and Jason in the highway department. It just like furthers the reach of being able to take advantage of cost savings by getting other contracts. I think it's beyond the state, but for some of the equipment we buy. So the less we can spend on the things we need, the better. So this really, really gives us more reach. You can probably explain it a little bit better than I can, but it's kind of exciting. It's
And that's part of the free platform use.
Mhm.
So, and if you buy, all of the counterparts, in this area, we would be part of the Empire State Groups through, your, New Hampshire, I guess,
Right.
Connecticut, but anyways, it's a free platform. Hopefully will allow us to save, resources from, for this.
Incidentally, there's some town in New York ordering jet skis. I don't think we're in line for doing that, but if we were, we'd save money on them by piggybacking on their contracts. So anyways, thank you for doing what you do. Anywhere we can save is gonna be really helpful.
All right. Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, a motion to approve the Highway Department to purchase a roadworks assessment management software package in the amount of $4,300, $4,300.
I will make that motion.
Second. Any discussion?
The only thing I'll say is this program will eliminate Dave's only zinger that he gets from the auditors every year because we don't have a list of our, which are our roads, because it would cost us more to do the inventory than it was worth. So now we will have it done with a computerized program. So hopefully your or your audits will be really clean.
Yep, we get an adverse opinion because we didn't comply with a new gravity pronouncement that was issued in, 2000. So, this is I think, this program did allow for the, capitalize our capital assets, which are your roadways, your drainage, your bridges, and deferring over the government by financial statements, which would allow for us to be aligned with GAP 34, hopefully 25, 25, hopefully in 26. And they would change our opinion from the external audit group from an adverse opinion to a qualified opinion. So I'm happy that they came to, myself and to the town board with that proposal for that software, anything that enhances productivity. It's something that I would support.
Okay. Councilman Del Nicky.
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, motion to approve Saratoga Hospital Milton Health Center. Use 15 parking spaces, town parking lot for 3 to 5 days while working through an expansion of their parking lot at the Milton Health Center. They will give the town a 3 to 7 day notice prior to paver coming. So they're looking at 3 to 5 days. They've already started clearing over there. So the project shouldn't take more than a week so they can expand their parking lot.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Quick, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
After that point, the 3 to 7 days, what happens?
Well, obviously, if it's raining or something, they'll need an additional day if the paver company can't come in and complete the project. But they said it shouldn't take longer than 3 to 5 days.
So they'd have to come for an extension. We'd have to approve an extension if.
Well, it is a public parking lot, so I really don't believe it's going to be a problem if we give them an extra day or two.
Just a short commute.
Correct.
Incidentally, the patients won't be parking there, so there won't be this steady stream of people trying to get across a fairly busy, fairly heavily traveled road. So,
And they have provided the town with insurance policy and a hold harmless agreement, so we're covered there. So
Okay. Councilman Del Nicky.
yes.
Councilwoman Soden.
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, motion to renew the contract with independent contractor John Olenek, 3 Van Tassel Lane, Ballston Spa, as Director of Economic Planning.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I just wanted to, kind of address some of the comments that you had, Dan. Each of the board members here actually met with John and kind of went through the contract with him and kind of got his feedback about how he thought things were going. We provided some perspective, and obviously, he's on the comp plan committee, which I think is helpful about providing direction to him. And I think a lot of it, in my opinion, is probably a communication, not issue, but just how he portrays it, how he comes across. So I think, we provided a little bit of perspective about how he could provide additional information so people kind of know what's going on, and a little bit better about what he's working on, and the direction that he's headed. It's not a one-way thing. He has direct oversight from Scott, and obviously he can't move forward on anything unless the board approves it. So they have that, he has direct oversight. He's off, gallivanting and kind of making deals on his own. So I just wanted to provide a little bit more perspective on
Right.
that.
And I think the guardrails will get a little bit tighter going forward in a few ways. Like we've all spoken to John about what we think's working, what's happened in the past, what we'd like to see more of. Frankly, reinforcing a lot of the same things everybody's feeling. Like I don't think it's gonna be a Norman Rockwell painting out there, but I think we're all thinking something a little smaller, hometowny, and I'm hoping John can elaborate on some of this in his monthly reports, because I think folks want to know. But I had a question about the space where McDonald's is going, and it never really occurred to me, but you need a decent sized company with some plan to be able to build there for millions of dollars and then fill the space. So, Dan and Eric's bagel shop probably couldn't afford to do that. But in any, spaces that are vacant or coming vacant or to be created, I think there's much more of an opportunity for, the types of companies and businesses and restaurants and things that I think you'd prefer to see than McDonald's. I know you're not a Big Mac guy, but there was some explanation for why that kind of thing might end up there. I imagine we won't need any more of them with the other spaces. So we had a lot of really good discussion in the last month with John, and hopefully we can clarify some things. And if there's any questions, I know you call and you'll come sit down here and you'll ask them and you'll share your concerns, and hopefully we can give some explanation.
And I know
Make it a bit
John's
better,
willing to
but-
sit with anyone as well. I mean,
Yeah.
he's said that, people can come to me, you can come to any of us, we can kind of relay the message if there's, things that you want to portray.
Right. And technically, if I'm not mistaken, the previous contract had expired. That could be why John's not here. Otherwise, he's been fairly regular. So if it's renewed, he should be here every month, giving an update or providing it to somebody so we can.
All that new stuff will be outlined and stipulated in this new contract.
Well, a lot of what we're talking about is vision and like overall concept of things. That's not really contract worthy. That's kind of direction that would come from one's manager at your job or my job or otherwise. Yes, some of the things are job description, but I'd love to see a vision get put down in front of the board and the town for what types of things we're looking for, not just in development, but out of the website if it's going to evolve or any other business we're doing or revamping of the park. And that's coming. That's at the beginning of the comprehensive plan. There is one from 2001. I think it's maybe outdated. So I'm hoping that new section would be the beginning of documenting some things that could help guide John's work and the rest of ours for that matter.
Just my quick thought on it, I talked with John. My thought is that the things that we are looking for and what the residents are looking for don't necessarily fit in the contract that can be changed every year. More important to put them into our comp plan because that gives us a vision that doesn't get changed every
Right.
and keeps us flowing in that direction. So that was my reasoning for not putting more things in the contract, to be honest with you.
Okay. Councilman Delnicki,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes,
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, department and committee reports, animal control, Eric.
Animal Control Monthly Report for April 2025. Total calls 102, bite cases 2, dangerous dog hearing 0, animal C 7, and there were some tickets issued. Unlicensed dog 2 tickets, running at large 1, nuisance dog 0 was a quiet month, and for a total of 3. Respectfully submitted, David Drzezinski, Animal Control Officer.
Thank you, Eric. No assessors report tonight, Eric.
Yeah, and I'm pleasantly surprised to get one. It was a busy time of year, especially now for the assessor having assessed a variety of properties and having a grievance week and a meeting here for anybody who wanted to bring that to that panel. So I'm glad she was able to get something in for the rest of us. Dated May 2025. Apologize for not getting a report for May earlier. However, we like to get them by a certain date so they can be part of the agenda or posted publicly. Our office has been very busy preparing for grievance day. We sent out 497 change of assessment notices for the 2025 assessment roll. Grievance was held last night in the Town of Milton Town Hall from 4 to 8. Our office had a total of 26 complaints, 42 inquiry phone calls, 3 in-person grievances. My appreciation goes out to the Board of Assessment Review for their time and dedication to hearing and viewing all the grievances. A Board of Assessment Review will meet again on June 10th, 2025 to deliberate on complaints that were required to supply additional documentation. No new complaints will be accepted for the 2025 assessment roll. Thank you, Laura Orminski, Town of Milton Assessor.
Thank you, Eric. Next, the building department.
okay.
John?
Yes, during the month of March, the Code Enforcement Department managed 25 building permits, collected $7,669.95 in building permit fees, collected $2,400 in planning and zoning fees, collected $4,000 in sewer fees, collected $2,644.19 in escrow, collected $2,000 in parks and rec fees, completed 135 construction inspections, fulfilled 31 fire safety inspections, responded to 41 code enforcement violations. A total of 11 certificate of occupancies were issued along with 26 certificates of compliance.
Thanks, John. Next, buildings and grounds, Barb.
Okay, during the month of April, I did daily cleanings of the community center, town parks, and all town offices, including the highway department, set up and takedowns at the community center as needed. I did monthly inspections of fire extinguishers and AED machines, town hall, and community center. We continue to groom and do daily maintenance on the Milton Mile and the park bathrooms and garbage cans. Installed a new projector that the town purchased, and it works with the existing equipment to allow sound with the projector that was at the community center. I repaired the fountain tubs in the front town's water wheel, and we continue to keep our parks and property safe for all. Respectfully submitted, Mark Leroy, Maintenance Supervisor.
Thank you, Barb. Next, controller's financial reporting package issued to the town boards, made available on our town website for inspection. No economic development, no health officer, highway department.
Okay, over the past month, we have been busy with our bulk spring cleanup of yard debris. This is a great service that our town residents enjoy in both the spring and the fall seasons. Residents have until May 15th to put any loose yard debris curbside in preparation for our final cleanup this spring. During the summer, the Town of Milton Highway does not offer a regular pickup. Any summer pickup would have to be on a limited basis and only done if our schedule permits. We have also already begun our road reconstruction season And once this season starts, we do not have the staffing to accommodate a roadside cleanup service. All cleanup will begin around October 15th. We urge all residents in the summer to bring the yard debris to our transfer station at 503 Geyser Road. If we do have any damaging storms this summer, the Highway Department will make a sweep to pick up debris from that storm. The transfer station is open to town residents Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We also now have Saturday hours from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. The transfer station is closed on any holiday weekends. Please feel free to contact the Highway Department at 518-885-5655 with any questions or concerns.
Thank you, John. Next historian, Mike.
Good evening, Mike Companion, town historian. Much of the activities I've been focused on this month have been centered around the Revolutionary War, which you know that's my pet project. On May 4th, I met with the Saratoga County Administrator and members of the Saratoga 250th Commission, discussed site plans for 2027 reenactment of the battles of Saratoga. They've actually got a site dedicated. The county's going to lease it. It's right on Wilbur Road next to the Saratoga battlefield. And we're in the process now of figuring out how we're going to re-landscape it a little bit to meet the needs of actually reenacting those two battles. Because we're actually two, not one battle, Saratoga. On May 14th, I took part in a ceremony at the Saratoga National Cemetery for the reinterment of a Revolutionary War soldier whose remains had been discovered in Lake George. May 17th at 11 a.m., we held a ceremony to commemorate the history of Rock City Falls and the unveiling of a sign commemorating the service of 3 Revolutionary War soldiers. We had a few people from the town there. I appreciate that, but not enough. As I was commenting at one of the residents, no names necessary, back corner, said that there's not a lot of people here. Well, he was right. There wasn't a lot of people there. We do a lot of planning in regards to these things. As you can see, if you went there, you saw a lot of different pieces of the puzzle to put together, and it went pretty smoothly, I was told. But the communication aspect is weak as far as us getting the word out there, and you all know that's the case. For everything we do in the town, it's hard to get the word out there unless it's right here at Town Hall. A lot of people aren't going to see it. So again, that's the thing we still have to work on as far as promoting the events we do in the town. As far as the actual ceremony, everybody on the board was there except for John.
Who?
And I think John was driving by in a fire truck.
No.
What were you, John? Yes, he was. So John was there too in spirit. Thank you very much, John. But everyone's there, and I appreciate that. We also had Tim Bantham, who was on the Historic Structures and Places Committee there as well. He took part in the ceremony. He read the history of Rock City Falls, which he did a very good job on. Way better than I could have myself. Even though I wrote it, he actually put the words together better than I could have. We also had Allison Saul there, who's on our committee, and Jeremy Baer, who also talked about the history of the cemetery of Rock City Falls. And also from the 250th committee, we had Mike Golden, who's on my commission there too, as part of the color guard. I've been working on a panel describing the history of the Woods Hollow Nature Preserve, recently acquired by the town. I'll be submitting the narrative for review by the Historic Structures and Places Committee before sending it to their supervisor for his approval, and also for Jason, to make sure it's okay with Jason as well, since he did all the work over there. So, or his guys. Don't want to embarrass Jason as far as having a kind of not up to par panel describing Woods Hollow. On May 22nd, I attended 2 meetings of the Saratoga County 250th Commission and discussed upcoming events this year, for which I'll be able to share specific information as plans come together. Today, May 28th, I took part in a ceremony hosted by BOCES as a send-off for 2 large full-scale replica sleds. They're called sledges. They were used to transport the barrels from Ticonderoga to Boston in the winter of 1775. They're really large. The BOCES kids made them. And they're going to be on display at various locations throughout the county. And I think the first real display is going to be at the fair. And I should actually make an effort to go see those things. The kids did a really good job. They were very historically accurate in creating these things. They're very large white oak sledges. One weighs about 1,000 pounds, one weighs about 800 pounds. And there's no hardware, no metal work. It's all wood. wooden pegs and everything put together. So they're very accurate in how they construct them.
Channel 10 did a story on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to be used a lot over the next 2 years around here. So you'll be seeing them hopefully. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I addressed two requests for information from individuals looking for information this month in the town. One was a request for information on the Mann family, which was able to gather quite a large collection of documents from the files downstairs. A second request was for information on Carl King Ford in the village. Does anybody have pictures of Carl King Ford or have access to them? Because this person's really interested in that. Their great grandfather worked there. I'd like to have some kind of documentation of the site. I did suggest he contact village historian John Croman, because I know John would have some stuff. And one more thing, as far as the Wood Hollows thing, I'm still looking for images from the past that people may have access to or have seen that I can actually use as part of the narrative, to describe the narrative a little better as far as with pictures. So again, I'm asking for anybody in the community, if you have anything like that, dealing with Woods Hollow, the history of Woods Hollow or the Boston Reservoir, just let me know. And upcoming events. I mentioned before, October, there's a proposed 250th anniversary of the U.S. Navy event. No other details are available yet. I just spoke to Frank McClellan over at the Veterans. He's still trying to Navy band. It's supposed to be its back. I hope it comes through. Otherwise, we need to do something here for the town in October. If the county drops the ball somehow, I think we need to take care of something like that. We'll try to arrange something. If it's okay with you, with the board, something here in October.
Sure,
Okay.
no problem.
November 8th, the Town of Milton, 250 Committee is planning a ceremony to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the Marine Corps at Factory Village Cemetery at 11 a.m. So we're actually going to have a thing on the Marine Corps at Factory Village Cemetery on November 8th for the Marines this year, 250th anniversary of the Marines. And finally, December 13th, the 250th anniversary of Knox Train of Artillery at Fort Hardy Park in Schuylerville, which I'll update you guys on that stuff too. So that's my report. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Next, Justice Court, Barb.
For the month of April, fines were $3,092, surcharges $3,358, civil fees $284, for a grand total of $6,734.
Thank you, Barb. Next, planning consultant, planning and zoning board report, Mike.
Right. For the planner, Sophia Maruso, various zoning board and planning board meetings, obviously their monthly meetings, facilities weekly meetings, as well as various other meetings with applicants for site plans and variances, et cetera. Continue to work on and manage the MS4 program compliance, as well as work with Delaware Engineering, Chairman Bartow on planning, and Chairman Terhune on the zoning board. Planning and zoning boards. So the planning board had their meeting on May 14th. The next one is June 11th. On May 14th, there was several actions that took place. The first was 410 Geyser Road, which was a special use site plan. It was a public hearing, the site plan for a bar and outdoor athletic games. Adjourn the public hearing for a site plan, and the applicant needs to address the EMS turning radius into the property and amended site drawings to show cleared vegetation and buffering adjacent to upstate transit. I have 62 days to make a decision because the public hearing was closed, so they expect to return in June. 6654 Middle Grove Road, which was a special use extension. They extended the special use permit for a cellular tower for 6 months. They intend to be back for final plans and apply for a building permit within 2 months. 336 Rowland Street, major subdivision final plat, the 13 lot major subdivision. They finally have the New York State DEC and Saratoga County Sewer District approvals. They waived the public hearing on the final subdivision plat, as the final plat is in the substantial agreement with the preliminary plat, and they approved the final plat with minor conditions. 199 Stone Church Road, which was a minor subdivision, 4-lot minor subdivision, classified the minor subdivision as the lead agent under seeker, and directed the applicant to get a freshwater wetland jurisdictional determination. The board had comments about the subdivision plat and showing the entire property. 521 Middle Line Road, which was a special use permit to convert an existing 3,500 square foot residence to a two-family residence. They classify the action as type 2 under seeker and not requiring any additional environmental review. Minor comments from the board, mostly supporting comments from the town building and code enforcement office, and they scheduled the public hearing for June 9th at 7:05. 11 Treble Ave, which was a minor site plan amendment, and for the expansion at the rear of Hannaford, classified the action as a type 2 under seeker, thus requiring no additional environmental review. The rear yard area variance needed from the zoning board, advanced county 239 referral because it needed to go to the county, requested the applicant to get an FAA sign off on the project as it is in the approach path. Noted for the applicant to assure EMS access and pass through in the rear. Expect the applicant to be back in July. Zoning board, which was May 22nd. The next meeting will be, no, not May 22nd. May 22nd. And 1394 Armor Road. And that was an area variance. The area variance was for a side yard setback variance due to a building of an access road to a property. The public hearing is scheduled for May 26th. 11 Treble Ave, Hannaford, which is also an area variance. The area variance for the rear yard setback due to an expansion of Hannaford for a receiving and storage room. The public hearing is scheduled for 5/26. So that meeting must have been 4/22.
Thank you, Mick. Next, Lisa, you don't have anything for taxes, correct? Thank you. Town clerk.
Okay, so for the month of April, we had 4 marriages, 13 certified marriage certificates, 37 certified death certificates, 1 certified birth certificate, 6 FOIL and search of records requests, 139 dog licensing, of which 30 of them were online, 28 hunting and fishing licenses, 10 pavilion and community rentals, and 129 summer program registrations. The town share that we brought in was $3,610.95.
Thank you, Brenda. Youth Bureau, nothing this month?
Nothing this month.
Okay, moving on. Next on the agenda, public comment number 2, public comment number 2 on any other town business. Anybody like to speak? Tim Bantham.
Shirley Ebert, 300 Rowland Street. With regard to John Olenek, I'm glad to hear that you have interaction with him, because sometimes I have felt that he was a kind of person unto himself, doing all the work and not sharing what he knows. He cannot always tell names, very specific things about what he's reviewing, because that's in process. So I'm glad to hear that you are monitoring him and giving him feedback. But what I really wanted to share is I appreciate the work that the Comprehensive Planning Committee did for the Rock City Falls interaction that we had, the workshop that we had this last month. I thought the activities were very well done. They clearly spent a lot of time. It was focused, I think, on land management, which I say, and I consider that in preparation for maybe changes to zoning or enhancing some of the zoning laws. And the discussions I thought were really pretty exciting, actually. I think we were very energetic, I think, at that meeting. I'm sorry more people didn't attend because it, as I say, it was really well done, and I look forward to more interactions about that. So nice job.
Thank you. Tim Bantham.
Good evening, Tim Bantham, 32 Birch Tree Lane. I just wanted to continue the conversation that we're having about John Olenek's contract renewal. If I may, I just wanted to share my perspective as a resident. I too have found myself wondering what exactly his role is. And what I mean by that is I'm reflecting back on a meeting, a comprehensive plan meeting that I had attended. And I felt that the conversation that took place that night was very well thought out. We had a lot of areas represented. I think we had a few guests at the meeting, that one that I had attended. John is on this committee, so he's privy to all of these conversations as well. So I believe that the importance of the comprehensive plan in connection to his work is paramount in importance. I have seen him stand here and share what he's doing. He'll tease things that he's considering, businesses that he's talking to. I realize that he's networking, but I'm always like a little bit on the edge of my seat, hoping he doesn't say a national fast food chain. Like, we already have one coming into the town, McDonald's. I hope there's not a Popeyes next door. It's my own opinion. So what I fear is that if that's the direction he's going, is that connected to what we want as a town? Is that connected to the comprehensive plan? So for me, that's my concern. And I'm glad to hear that you all are having conversations with him, because that's what I would be looking for as a citizen, is to make sure that anything that he's doing is connected to the overall big picture. There is a lot of exciting things happening in the town in the decade, and we want to make sure that we make the right decision now. So I appreciate the opportunity to share my perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
You all doing tonight? Arden Kelly, Town of Milton. So many times we're up here griping about things. I just want to point out what a nice job they did at the Woods Howell entrances. Beautiful. And so I just wanted to share something positive tonight of how nice, and whoever did the work. I did pull over the one day and yell, "Nice job, guys," but I don't know who. You know? But anyway, it's a nice job. You come down Rowland Street and that really does look very nice. So, and I do echo the sentiments of people talking about John. I think there's a lack of trust there. That's
Thank you. Anyone else? Brenda, anybody via Zoom? Okay, public comment number 2 is now closed. Do we get any correspondence, Brenda?
Yes. All right. So we got a thank you note from Boston Spa Central School District Office of Community Relations. They had the budget workshop at our community center. And we also got a congratulations, best wishes from the Franklin Community Center on the award for the budget. So they sent a letter. If any of the board wants to go check out their food pantry, they would love to show it to them. That was it.
Thank you. Any board discussion on Newtown business? Don, you have anything?
Yeah, just to go over what's happening with facilities.
We can combine the new and old because we
Yeah.
usually tie it into it.
I
So
guess I got my
gonna have
mic on
one
now,
town
so
business.
everyone can hear me. Things are progressing up at the highway garage. Even though you don't see a lot of it, there's a lot of wall framing that's been going up. Wires are being pulled. I see today they finished the siding, it looks like. So they'll be back on the roof and have it enclosed fairly quickly. So that's progressing along. The one thing I will note, the 2,000-gallon water storage tank they talked about tonight, it's actually a oil separator water storage tank. That was, unfortunately, we had to increase it from the county sewers say so. So that was why that came forward. Anything else up there is pretty much just running along. We did today just talk about a little bit about water and our water plans going forward. We're trying to get contracts now with all our water suppliers that we didn't have for years. The first group we're working with is actually the city of Saratoga, which supplies about 225 residents in our town. So we have sent them some drafts, and they go through legal, then they go through engineers. It's not a fast process, but it's moving along.
Thanks, John. Eric,
Okay.
anything?
Yeah, I'd like to
Barb?
thank everybody that helped with the fishing contest. Our numbers were up. We had about 60 children enrolled. And I hear from the gossip line over there, next year is going to be a big year because it's our 40th year. So we might be planning some surprises for next year. And you stole my thunder. I wanted to thank everybody that showed up at the comprehensive review workshop, the forum up at Rock City. And thank you to Rock City for allowing us to have it up there. I think it was very successful. I talked to Adam. I sent him a thank you. I mean, Delaware Engineering put it all together. They're doing a fabulous job, and Adam was going to get all the results together. But there was a lot of interaction from different people that were there. Everybody was kind of scurrying around to different tables and saying, "Oh, look, that's a good idea. This is a good idea." And, so I think that was about the most successful one we've had. Thank you for coming.
I saw a lot of Post-it notes. I saw a lot of Post-it notes.
Oh, yeah.
And string was
And a lot of string, a lot of yarn.
Yeah.
arts and crafts.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into all the details. I'm happy to sit down with anybody for as long as they need to, but Tim, Dan, everybody, we hear you. So I think everybody shares a lot of the same concerns. Question is, how do we kind of rein some of that in or share more information so it's a little more clear? And I haven't had a chance to do this in a better place. I suppose I could stick it on my Facebook page, but I think we have the best historian in the whole country and most enthusiastic as well. But if you could ever get to these events, they're kind of fun. Everybody's in their gear. I believe you sewed and stitched your uniform and hat yourself. It's amazing. It's amazing. Builds the cannons that go off and wake us all up. It's pretty extraordinary. Yeah, I'd love to see more people here. I'd love to see more people at those events, the comprehensive plan meetings. And, maybe we can spitball some ideas about how to get the word out. Like where does the information for everything you do list? Because it's not right on our website page.
Dave's largely the guy who posts things on the Facebook, but.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
That's good for some people. Some people don't receive information there. So maybe we could push it out even further somehow, some way.
I find all other groups besides just the town website, because people aren't seeing this.
Not everybody goes there. That's only so exciting, but
This is the same thing. You guys had a great meeting for Roxy Falls, but not a lot of people were there.
Right.
Right.
How do you do it?
People are everybody's lives are so full of their personal needs and wants, but sometimes the community gets second thing,
anyways, you do well.
which that's normal. That's normal.
I mean, you bring it to all these events, even when you're standing outside in the freezing cold, handing out flyers for Paul Revere's ride. And Tim, if I enunciated as well as you, I'd be retired by now too. So that's all I've got.
Okay. I got a couple things. Again, a big thank you for Woods Hollow, Jason Miller, of course, and his
Awesome.
team. My daughter is enjoying fishing there. She says the fish do jump out of the water, so she's very excited about that.
They're there.
That's
They're
They're there.
They're there.
Jason did that.
Jason did it. He did it. We're continuing to work on the Milton Day, which will be the end of August. We originally had it on a day that I think is not going to work, so we're looking at alternate day. So more to come on that, but certainly it's on Fridays, our meetings. Reach out to me. Anyone wants to come, please do. Special Needs Fishing Derby is at the 4-H training facility this coming Saturday, actually, from 9 to noon. If anyone have a child or anyone else, they can certainly sign up at Cornell Cooperative Extension. And we had the Boston Spa Student Council, the 4th and 5th graders here. It was so cute. On May 14th, they came in, kind of did a tour of the building here, the outbuildings and everything. And again, they're 4th and 5th graders, but they had great questions. They asked a ton of questions and they were so darn cute and really smart. So, Scott and everyone.
And they approved Reimagine Milton. We got their
Yes,
approval on it.
Yes, they approved it. So they were this is really cool. So that's all I have.
I have a couple things. couple of people have questioned or asked about the roundabout that's going to be going in at 50 and North Line. At the county level, we had a discussion where they hired a consulting group for the conceptual design because that's not a state DOT project. That's a CRTC project. So I know that project's moving along. Once I get more information on when they're going to break ground and if we get a design, I can share it with the town because I know that the town and the county and the state, we've all been involved in trying to get something down there to dump that traffic pattern to make it easier for everybody. Airport, you can see they're putting a new road in. So the grand opening, they haven't set the date, but I assume it's going to be sometime in June. Once we hear, we'll let everybody know. The airport diner, the lease was signed with them at our last board meeting. It was okayed. Tentatively, they're looking at opening September 1st, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that'll be a 1-year lease. And then based on they started at low to get them in there and get situated, make sure everything's good. And then the multiple years following that, there'll be an increase of how his business is actually going. They signed a temporary small Leah car lease there with them for the airport for the track season. Once I get a definite, that's going to be opening. I mean, I assume they're getting close. I took a tour last week. It's absolutely beautiful. The roads are getting paved, so I assume it's getting very, very close, and I do not have an opening date. That's all I have. So moving on from the agenda, there's no executive session this evening, so motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Quick.
You and me.
Go ahead, make the motion. I'll
I'll make
second
the
it.
Any discussion? Councilman Delnicki,
Yes.
Councilwoman Soden,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Have a good night. You want what?